let's hope this works. Um, these arrowheads want to line up. We're missing the dash 11 here. We want this to be reference callouts. We can't dimension to this because this is not dimensioning to a feature. We're dimensioning to a T here. This dimension needs to be down here, and then this dimension gets removed because right now what we're doing is we're double dimensioning the part because I already know this, so I don't need this if I'm going to have this, and this needs to go down here because I can see the feature better. Okay, so if they're out in the shop, it's going to be easier to mark that point, mark this point over here, just draw a line, and whatever the angle is going to be whatever it is as long as it's going from that point to that point, dimensioning off the datums. Datum B is my datum, so I want to dimension off the datum to the point. There is no datum over here that I'm dimensioning from. Okay, also, it's just not common to dimension off a line like this unless I was doing a chamfer callout, which is what I wouldn't want to do in this view. That being said, you know what? This thing's only 1.5 inches tall, 2.5 inches wide. They go to print it, it's going to be half of that. So they're going to be looking at a part like 3/4 inches tall. You could go crazy. I want you to go 2:1 scale on this. This one here is backwards here. The number this number here is your number. So for the drawing, you should be just copy pasting that number, and the title is this title of the exercise up here. So we should be using this for your title. Okay, other than that, this looks really good. It's laid out nice. I can see all the views, but it is an ASME drawing. Being an ASME drawing, this all needs to be 4 places. Okay, so this is not the correct call out. To find out how to lay out this view and do the callouts, under modules, you could do a collapse all, and then look for that cheat sheets where I got all the quick tips for drawings. On the bottom here we have creating the ISO views. Okay, I would say these lines are consistent but a little short. Okay, that would be something checked in blue that I'm just saying, hey, I would suggest that be a little bit longer. I don't think they stick out very well being buried inside the dimension. I would move it up here and over here to the left. But this is an acceptable practice. Weights in 4 places, which is good. Everything else looks great on this one. Okay, on this one, see this line here? If I were to take this line and go straight up, nothing. Oh, you got a tolerance. You got a tolerance block on here, and we don't need the tolerance block because this is a ASME drawing. If it were an ANSI drawing at 4 places or 2 places, then yes. But since this is ASME, we're going 2 places, so I don't need the tolerance block. The note here tells me it's plus or minus 30. But these dimensions do need to be at 4 places. Everything else looks good, but we're missing the height. And we're missing a reference call out because we don't want to be committed to these lines because this is an isometric view, meaning that these lines are foreshortened and that we're not going to be able to measure their true length. And we want to do the leader callouts, identifying the part. Same with this one. We want to do the leader call outs on the part. This one we only got it on one place. Oh no. Why are we not coming up? This one has the leader call outs on all the views, so this is what I'm looking for. The only thing I don't like is I probably would have went from here to here, because that arrowhead right there is getting washed out. So if we put the arrowhead to this, it'd be a lot cleaner. Okay. All right, so back to this one here. We're missing a datum on the top view. The datums you do have are correct. What I don't like is this triangle is right on that line. And now it's confusing to the shop. Are you trying to make this line the datum or this vertical line the datum? So again, that's why I like to pull it off the part. But if you want to put this on here, you're going to have to put it up here or over down here. Again, we got to change our title here. Now, your drawing should always have length, width, and height on here. We got our height, we got our length, we don't have our width. We do if we add this plus this. But I want a width dimension. I want that dimension on my drawing. So I would remove this dimension. Okay, so I'm hoping that the part itself has the dash P and the drawing is the dash D when you guys do your naming and saving it to the collaboration. If I draw a line from here straight down to here, it looks like this 911 is going to get clipped in there. So we need to adjust accordingly. Again, get all your leaders on all the views. This one again needs leaders on all the views, and I'd definitely go twice scale. So let's see what these guys did. When you go twice scale, it makes everything easier to dimension. And it's going to be that much clearer for the shop. And this note here, you can see this is what it's supposed to be called out. Again, why is this one not coming up? This one looks good, but it's so spaced out that I would go twice scale to fill in that space and make it again 100 times easier for you to dimension, and then the shop might actually have a chance of seeing what's going on. Excuse me. I would say the length of this line from the datum C to the triangle is much shorter than the length from the A to this triangle. So these want to be all the same lengths. Same with this one over here. See, this one looks over here. I wouldn't have caught that, but this is too obviously different. One thing I didn't catch here, I haven't been noticing, is I didn't actually design these parts. These design parts came from whoever wrote your print reading book. So the author of the print reading book would get credit for doing the design. I'm just double checking it to see if you made it per the book. Alright, so this should be twice scale. let's say this is too close. This is a little tight. Alright, so if I were to guess, we did stack dimension on these, which was great, but then I have this situation. So the rule of thumb is if you can avoid crossing extension lines, then you do it. You can't always, but we could just take this dimension here and move it to this side, this dimension here, and move it down. You'd have no crossing dimensions. Now you might think, well, now how am I going to get to that? Well, then this one cross might happen somewhere. Another thing you could do, I wouldn't like it as much, but you could move a dimension from here up, and then it wouldn't interfere here. But part of the exercise is to get you guys to learn how to lay them out and try and finagle it so you're not crossing your extension lines, your leader lines and such, is trying to minimize it all using multiple views. Okay, and again, I might recommend 2-to-1. This comes out nice and clean though. I can see everything, so I'm not going to push that issue. Just bear that in mind as you guys create your drawings. 2-to-1 is going to make it easier for the shop to see when we print it at half scale. Because a full-size print on a drawing, actually a B-size drawing and a C-size drawing is not that big. But last I was out there, when you're doing a print, they're going to print them at half scale, unless it's just a 8x11. Okay. I wanted to show this one. Let's see if I can refresh this. I do not know why this is not coming up. It was up earlier, just seconds ago. So I'll go back to this. Okay, so again, this is a B-size drawing. I want to go to twice scale, so you're obviously going to have to change this drawing size. These are not dimensioned correctly. I think I showed that earlier. To go to the engineering ISO views, how to lay out these dimensions. Yeah, these angles are not right. They should be coming straight off the part or straight up and down. So again, we have the height dimension, width, but length, height. I want this width dimension in here. So I want to remove this one and add a width dimension. I want to give them the overall width. In fact, the overall width is more like 2.4. What we got here is dimensions on the foreshortened, which is why they don't match up. Which again is why in that video I say this is just reference callouts. I think I talked about that. That's creating isometric views in the creating drawing quick references. Oh, I've lost where I was now. Okay. Everything else looks really good. This weight has to be 4 places. This rev should be a dash to match this dash up here. And then I think everything else looks good on that. So hopefully you guys that have not submitted, watch this video, make sure you do it correct for what you're seeing here in the videos. Those of you that have been sharing, I will be giving you bonus points for allowing me to share the video in your early submission. Thank you. Fucking A.